Hello, everybody, and welcome to talking about our 30-second story. So this is really something that I feel is very important because we have to be able to tell our story to people quickly, efficiently, effectively, so that they'll really understand us and listen to us. So there really is a formula to this, and it does take practice. And this is one of the systems that we should be using when we're talking to people about Isagenix. So how it really goes is you want to think about before Isagenix, how are you feeling? And this could be a product feeling, it could be a business feeling, it could be a emotional feeling, whatever you want to talk about as before Isagenix. And then the next part is I was introduced to Isagenix by. Okay, so who introduced you or how did you get introduced? Because sometimes that really is the key for a lot of people of how you were introduced. And it also gives that third-party validation and credibility. And then you're going to say, I've been on the products for X amount of time. And then as a result, this has happened. And then finally, now I believe. So it's really kind of a five-parter, and this is a great way to do it. So you can have different 30-second stories. So one thing is you can borrow off of other people's 30-second stories. So, if you don't have a weight loss story, or you don't have a business story yet, or you don't have a energy and performance story, then borrow one off somebody else and use theirs, because that is still a valid way to share the experience. Of course, you're going to want to just mention that it is somebody else that's gone through that scenario. So I have two. I talk about a product one where I can say things like, before Isagenix, I was overwhelmed and tired. I just felt a lot of stress from the kids and the family, and I was introduced to Isagenix by a friend of mine, Tara, who I went to Salsa Babies with, and I've been using the products for 3 years now, and as a result, I feel great. I have more energy. I am not overwhelmed. I can feel my body working better. My kids use the products, and we're all healthier for it. And so as a result, I'm sharing this now with other moms and other people because it made me feel great. It's worked for my family, and I really want to share it with other moms so that they can have a healthy alternative for their family as well. And then you can finish it off with, does that interest you? Can I send you some more information about it? And ask to, continue the conversation. Sometimes I'll use a product one with a business one. So I would say something like, before Isagenix, I was overwhelmed and tired, and I was a bit confused about what my future was really going to be, and that brought a lot of stress to my life because I love being a chiropractor, and I do think that's a calling, and I love my patients, but I also wanted to be home with my children, and for me, practicing chiropractic means that I will have to practice on evenings because I live in a town where people commute, and I would need to practice in the evening. And that being said, I would not be home in the evenings with my families. And Tara introduced me to Isagenix, a friend of mine who is a mom and actually was able to retire from teaching because of Isagenix. And so I took a look at the compensation plan a little bit more. And because I love the products, I was already thinking about sharing them. This was really a no-brainer. And as a result, last year I was able to decrease my practice hours by 20% and, allowing myself more freedom and more flexibility. And I want to share that now with chiropractors and with other professional moms who, right now don't have that time freedom and are working long hours at their jobs, but really just want to be home with their family. Does that sound like something that interests you? So you can make this 30-second story your own and practice, 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 practice. So you can practice in front of the mirror, you can practice with a teammate, a colleague, your sponsor, but just make sure to practice because you do want it to be in that 30-second, under a minute time frame, because sometimes what can happen is our stories go on and on and on. And the truth is that it's not about us, it's about them. You're just trying to introduce the topic, you're just trying to let people know what you do, you're just trying to let people know what you have. And so it's really important to remember that, because you don't want to be going on a long time about you. You want to get right down to what's going on in their life. What solution do we have for them? How can Isagenix impact their life? And so please do make sure that is the emphasis when you're talking about your 30-second story and when you're sharing the products. So I look forward to hearing everybody's 30-second story. You know, you can post it, video yourself and post it, and get some great feedback on our ISAPower Facebook page.